And we are live. We are live. I think we have representatives here from Africa, Andrew, and myself in Europe and the United States, I believe. Welcome to the first call of the Geyser Grants Round 5 Education in Bitcoin Communities call. So this is the first of a set of probably 5 to 6 different presentation calls with people that are doing work in educating the world through education and in Bitcoin communities. So really excited to be joined here by Andrew, Kumi, Abubakar, and Alexandria, and to learn from the work that's happening on the ground, Bitcoin as a grassroots movement, and the people on the ground doing the work. So again, just to give a small brief intro into Geyser Grants, what it is. Geyser Grants provides a means to really support creators that are doing invaluable work within the realm of Bitcoin education, Bitcoin communities, and Bitcoin culture. And this specific grant is focused on education in Bitcoin communities. And we focus on this because we've just been inspired to see the growth of the circular economies that are growing all around the world. And this is really what distinguishes Bitcoin as a grassroots movement from a top-down one. It also highlights how Bitcoin is while it's for everyone, it's mostly and it's most useful for those who are disenfranchised from the system, are not properly able to access financial tools, um, and it provides an incredible means of securing people's wealth into the future. And therefore countries and therefore we've seen this growth of Bitcoin communities, especially in the developing world. And so really excited to do this, and it really starts with these, it starts with the Bitcoin beaches, and I think we're starting to see them around Africa and South America for the matter. But today's focus, as well as the one next week, will be focusing on Bitcoin communities in Africa and looking at the educational work that they're doing, and really giving them a way to showcase their work and tell us about their plans into the future. And then basically how the Geyser Grants work is that you will have Bitcoin board members, grant board members that will be assessing, evaluating the impact and distributing the funds based on impact, based on the trust that these creators have established through time and proof of work, and just the power of their ideas. So really curious about today's speakers. But before I bring Kumi and Alexandria, I'd like to give our word to Andrew, who joins us from Blink. And they are, great company, sponsors of the grant alongside some other Bitcoin philanthropists. And so, Andrew, take the word. Tell us a little bit about, Blink, your plans, and why also you've decided to join in this initiative.
Sure. Thank you. So my name is Andrew. I work at Galloy. We build open source Bitcoin banking infrastructure. And one of the products that we build is Blink, which is formerly known as the Bitcoin Beach wallet. This wallet was built on the ground in El Zonte, known as Bitcoin Beach, right, in 2020, before there was a Bitcoin law. And, the wallet was built for the purposes of building communities, right? And so the features for merchants, more recently stable sats, which allows you to sidestep volatility in the short term, and in looking as time has gone on, you had Bitcoin Beach starting in 2019. In 2020, 2021, you had maybe 5 different communities that seemed to start picking up space. You had Bitcoin Akasi. I see Alexandria is representing them as well. And they were starting maybe 2021. And now look at us. We're in 2023, and Bitcoin Akasi just raised like a couple Bitcoin. because somebody traveled there, Aubrey, and produced a video and put them on a big stage. And so today, in mid 2023, we have 60, 70, 80 projects which are in this nurturing like phase, which are really doing a lot of the hard work to build momentum. And I think that like both me personally, but Blink as a wallet and a company that's built for bottom-up adoption sees this as planting and watering like seeds of the future. And so maybe the last thing I would say is that the thank you to Geyser for bringing these communities together, because I think community building can be a very difficult and lonely process, like for the first till you build momentum. And so building the community of communities and having everybody share lessons and ideas and broadcast to the world what they're doing is so critical to take you from your first few donations, of a million sats to helping raise a Bitcoin to help really, build momentum for your community. So really grateful to be here. Really, really excited to see the projects, and thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, and just to echo some of those ideas, absolutely, Bitcoin and Cassie raised quite a lot of funds, and from the community itself, right? And while there are big funds that are thankfully helping some of these communities, especially HRF, we believe that the community itself can be a platform for this support, and like what you guys are doing, trying to bring the Bitcoin community in and supporting these great initiatives is really powerful, actually. But so let's get going. So Abu Bakar is needs no introduction, but he is a Bitcoin core developer and also I think CEO of a Bitcoin focused VC fund, Recursive Capital, and many more things. And so he's here as a board member that will help to kind of evaluate the different projects and establish where some of the funds go. So he's here to listen, to learn, but also to tell us a little bit about yourself. Do you want to give us a quick intro, Abu Bakar?
Yeah, sure. Like Mick mentioned, I'm involved with a bunch of stuff, but specifically my interest for this set of calls, as well as the board with Geyser, is to try and provide at least the expertise we've been able to have with our work at Gala, for example, just in general, growing Bitcoin spaces around Africa with the bit devs, etc. So I'm looking forward really to seeing the submissions, but also seeing where exactly the pain points still are and kind of what really the awesome projects people are working on and how they've been able to solve some of the issues really we've seen as well on the ground. So yeah, happy to be here and looking forward to seeing all the submissions.
I think you're muted, Mick.
Awesome. Sorry about that. Yeah. So thank you so much, Abu Bakar and Andrew for the intro. So without further ado, maybe Kumi, you've come in. I think you're the first on the call. So if you wanna, I'll pick on you this time. Do you wanna just kind of jump off? I don't know if you have something to share with us, a presentation or whatever it is. I think you're on mute as well. I'm still not hearing you. I don't know if it's just me.
I cannot hear it either.
Yeah. Yeah, perhaps Alexander, maybe we'll let you go first as Kumi fixes his technical issues.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
All right, awesome. So I think the first things that you guys asked was, okay, what is Bitcoin Reach and what has been the impact so far with Bitcoin Reach, right? So Bitcoin Reach is basically a community that was established in Zimbabwe with a need approach for fairness, community. And what has been the impact so far is that we've reached out close to about 1,000 people because we've been able to do about 2 meetups almost every month in Zimbabwe, but also I think about 3 countries and 7 different cities. The reason why we've gone to so many cities is because we've noticed that in many southern countries, in Southern Africa, they often ignored. So, for example, when we hosted our first meetup in Pretoria, the capital city of South Africa, there was no meetup and there was no community. Like there was no action, no Bitcoin activity being done there. So Bitcoin just trying to kind of fill in the gaps in certain regions and just kind of have that first experience with Bitcoin, right? Yeah. So we've created a subgroup that is close to about 400 to 500 members, but we would like to expand this group to about 1,000 to 2,000 members for. But our main approach, and our main way that we want to kind of achieve this big adoption is by using a strategy called jab, jab, right hook. So basically give, and then ask, right? So the first jab, I think I talked about it, and I talked about it, was that we give free meetups almost every 2 weeks. We look for 25 up to 25 new people for each meetup, and then we exactly for new people, 25 people, and then also kind of ask people, you guys download the wallet, and that's all the work that you need to do. So you're kind of giving those free videos, free links, and free education. It's basically inbound communication with this audience, right? It's a public way of communicating with these guys. The second step, or the second jab, is to be WhatsApp. WhatsApp, we now we get the private, it's outbound communication, private communication within one-on-one, right? We basically, if someone has a question, someone can just rise in the WhatsApp group. Whenever we're Twitter space, whenever we have a YouTube video or podcast, for example, we all just send all the information there. And like WhatsApp group is really active. Almost every day you have about 100 messages going forward and stuff, because you want to have that one-on-one time, which is really important, right? The third jab, which is going to be our way to actually really grow the community, is what we want to do, and this is where we're actually kind of asking for the grants, is we want to start a new initiative called the Asking About Bitcoin initiative. So Bitcoin actually has the hoodies and communities to have hoodies and stuff. We want to do a similar concept like what we've seen. I don't know if you know the Bitcoin Walk Initiative. So the Walk Initiative is they go out almost every Saturday, and they walk around to businesses, to people, to individuals, educating them about. We want to take that concept where we go out almost every Tuesdays and Thursdays, talking to people about Bitcoin, wearing a Bitcoin outfit basically says Bitcoin. And what we would do is we'll start off with about 3 or 4 members. These 3 or 4 members will have kind of a daily target, or a target, maybe 10 people per day, for example. 10 people a day, for example, right? So, so then if each person is there, so maybe it's 10 people. So maybe it's about 3 people, 4 people. We're hoping to go about then one day about 3 people, because what we really want to do is we really want to get it up to about 3,000 to 4,000 people in the group. I really want to get the word out there, because one thing I've noticed about adoption and when it comes to Bitcoin in a country is that no one is talking to the everyday person. No one's beginning that conversation. And if you spend about 5 minutes with just one individual, you notice that that's all they needed to actually start that conversation, to start going to the rabbit hole. So that's what it is. It's going once every Tuesdays or Thursdays with about 4 passionate people, we call Alpha members, onto the streets of Zimbabwe, and then bringing them into the community, right? How we bring them into the community? Well, we offer them to either join our WhatsApp group, and also opportunity to come into or attend one of our Bitcoin meetups, right? And as you can see in the pictures, we have pictures with so many different places and so many different regions with so many beautiful people, right? It's never the same people, but it's always like great interact way, right? So that's the third jab. So the third jab is mostly what we do is we're actually going to give what we call beta members just one free Bitcoin kit. It's going to be all in orange. And the main purpose is that we want to flood the streets of Zimbabwe with orange Bitcoin outfits. Zimbabwe, basically. We think that will really get the dialogue and really get the momentum in Zimbabwe to many people as possible. How we're going to fund this is and this is why we talked about two stages basically in, in the session. So the first stage is actually just going to be using grant money to just fund maybe the first, I don't know how much funds we get, but depending on how much funds we get, we'll fund the first group of individuals, right? And then the second stage is we're going to be working with Mike, the Bitcoin shop, you know, the guy who's like who did the big documentary in El Salvador, because he's had experience selling merchants in America. So what he has suggested was that we will sell Bitcoin hoodies through him, America, and then whatever money we generate from that, we will trace an individual in Zimbabwe. So we create a new Bitcoin warrior who will go with us, who will volunteer. So what we're saying is you get a Bitcoin kit, and then you get a Bitcoin outfit, work with us in entrepreneurial the rest of Zimbabwe with us. So you get to learn with us while you're doing the walks, but you're also kind of pushing cause even further. And so we get to such a big momentum.
I've lost Alexandria's audio. Oh, there you go.
All right, I'm mute now. Yeah, I lost you there at the end, but yeah, I think I captured everything you said. It was a little glitchy, but I think the main gist, the idea is you have this thing called the jab, which you have to explain to me why you've chosen the word jab. But I understand. I think I understand the irony. But the idea is you start off by taking people out first on a in a restaurant, have a meal, just have a normal conversation. Then you get them into a WhatsApp group and get them involved in a community. And then with the third job, you get them to I think the third one is being more involved and then giving them outfits, basically, right?
Did we lose Alexandria? I think we might have lost him. Is he back in the lobby or something?
Let me check. Oh yes, he is back in the lobby.
You might have to repeat that part.
Did you hear what he didn't? Did you hear what I said, Alexandria, just now? I was just resuming your project. But
I heard the last part.
right. But could you just, I think, in terms of, have a couple of questions, just to understand the nitty gritties. So, how do you pick who gets involved in the job?
Okay, yeah. So we have the first three members, or what we call the alpha members, basically. And alpha members are people who are working on a daily basis. So, like, these are people who, you know, even if they don't pay them, without earning anything, they're doing anything, you know, are going there, doing all the research, applying for grants, for example, seeing the meetups, picking the venues to host the meetups, educating the people who are more knowledgeable about Bitcoin. These are the alpha members who are always going to be there 24/7, right? And then you have the beta members, and the members are just people who, you know, what we've noticed that in our community, that there's so many people who like realize what Bitcoin is, they just want to join. They don't know how they can become a part of the cause. You can never give them a role to play. So these are just basically new people who are eligible about Bitcoin, but, you know, have the passion, have that desire to participate and just contribute to the revolution. So it's not going to be a beta member, here's it, but it's going to be the people that say, hey, dude, I want my parts. Come, and then you're like, okay, yeah, if you want a part, come along. Here's the kit. Become part of the become part of the actual community, you know. And that's how we kind of pick the individuals. Makes sense.
Got it. Amazing. Any other questions from you guys?
I had a question about, generally speaking, the education in Zimbabwe and maybe the usage as a result of your education. Are people using Bitcoin, say, more store value use case, or are there merchants you've been educating so that people can spend sats locally? Just curious about like what pieces of education you are giving to these groups as part of your strategy.
Yeah. Yes, what we noticed was that Bitcoin adoption was coming mostly as a utility base. So when people were trying to spend Bitcoin and receive Bitcoin, either from outside the region, out of Zimbabwe, or in, because Bitcoin is kind of the cheapest way. It's kind of a cheap way to send Bitcoin money out in Zimbabwe. But as soon as we were doing these initiatives, we started doing these talks with people, so many people are now like, calling me on a daily basis and saying, dude, I want to make my first investment. So people are now using Bitcoin as a store of value, and that's what I really like, is that so many people that are like saying, I want to start using it as a store of value, because we believe that is, they now understand the business. Because one of the things that we fall victim to is, because we face sanctions in Zimbabwe, we don't get access to any financial services, primarily remittances, but also when it comes to like investing in asset classes or stock markets, people end up falling victim to a lot of scams, right? But now you can show, okay, listen, if you want to actually put your money in something that's going to protect your custody, then now you can actually use Bitcoin as investments and as store value. So a lot of people are now using this as store value, and which is the most important thing, because but it also just, I think it brings really big option up for it and stuff.
Amazing. And another quick question here is, what type of demographies seem to be most receptive and interested? Is it because I see a lot of young people, but also older people? So I'm curious to hear which ones you think seem to be more accepting of Bitcoin as kind of the online digital money.
Yeah, definitely. So Zimbabwean in general, I think Africa in general has a higher demographic than one in the 20 years demographic. So you're going to see a lot more activity in the region. And that's what we're seeing. We see people want to learn about Bitcoin and want to participate in the Bitcoin activities, because we reach out to every demographic. Like, it's like every single demographic is reached out to, but what you see is when the people who are participating mostly in it are going to be young people. But we are to every single age, and we even didn't want to just go to schools, but we want to hit every person who was interested in Bitcoin. Because what we noticed is that sometimes when you do an event in a school, for example, you have maybe 80% of people interested, and then 80% of the people who are. We want to focus on. We want to just reach out to everyone, and then bring the people that are most passionate about into and learning it. So it's mostly young individuals in the middle region and stuff.
Awesome. Cool. Any other questions from anyone else in the call? And by the way, I'll add also Zanda here.
Yeah, I've got a quick one. Alex, first of all, great work, and I'm glad to see people doing work, especially in Zimbabwe and other regions. Specifically with the WhatsApp group, I know on the call here you've mentioned, as well as in the brief in the doc, that you guys share news and all that. But what other activity happens in the WhatsApp group? Do the members talk with each other with regards to how to use Bitcoin, things like that, or is it mostly like broadcast of just news in general?
Repeat that question, you're breaking.
Oh, sorry. I was just asking, in terms of the WhatsApp group, is it a case where it's just news and like resources that's shared, like a broadcast in general, or do the members in the group actually interact and like maybe teach themselves about Bitcoin, ask questions, things like that? I just want to know like what the activity is in general with regards to the WhatsApp groups.
Yeah. So like what you notice in most Bitcoin groups outside of one or whatever group it is, because we are the WhatsApp Bitcoin group, is that those are only used for like buying and selling. So there's never any teachings. With our WhatsApp group, it is consistently dialogues, teaching, videos. Almost every day I try to put a new video, whether it's from Robert Bilal, Safe London Moves, mostly teaching, and then it's also we're posting doing updates on whether we're gonna have a meeting for on Friday, for example, or whether we're going to have an event on that Saturday, for example. And then it's also kind of memes, but what it is a lot of just financial education, and we don't allow anything other than Bitcoin in that West group. We'll just put Bitcoin education and then event and nothing besides that. A few times people try to sell, people do buy and sell in the WhatsApp, but primarily is education. And for like we get up to like 5,000 people, you know, it'll be such amazing thing, and that's why we want to get as high as possible.
Awesome. Okay, now I think I'm starting to lose you pretty badly now, Alexandria. But thank you. I think that was really insightful and seemed really well put together. Kind of thought and plan and history of proof of work, and also plan for the future, which is cool to see. And yeah, overall, just seeing a country plagued with hyperinflation like Zimbabwe, I would you'd hope that Bitcoin might be a pretty easy to get, especially in that country. So hopefully it's the case, and we look forward to finding out more and getting more updates. So thanks again. All right, next up we've got Kumi. Hopefully we figured out the voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Thank
can.
you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me here, and thank you to Geyser, thank you to Blink, thank you to everyone on the call. This is a wonderful opportunity for us educators to come and then tell the world what we've been doing so far. So my name is Kumio Usum Kansa, and I'm the lead for Bitcoin Carries. Bitcoin Carries is in Ghana, and our basic aim is to educate and orange pill the whole of Ghana to believe in the Bitcoin standard. So we started off the year with the aim of reaching all the 16 regions in Ghana with Bitcoin education, and God being so good, we've been able to cover at least half of the country in terms of different towns with Bitcoin education. With our form of education, it doesn't have a target audience in terms of age bracket or demographic. Our target is anyone that is willing and open to learn about Bitcoin. So what we do is go out there and then move from place to place, orange people, talk to them about Bitcoin, and then get them to believe in the Bitcoin standard. So, okay. Yeah, so I have a couple of things I can share with you. That is
Yeah, whatever is easier. If you wanna, I'm happy to screen share if it's easier. As if you want me to pull a particular entry, let me know.
okay. I think that entry is not on the guys I found yet, but
Okay,
don't worry, I can just talk about it.
that's
Let's
fine.
talk. Let's talk.
Perfect.
So in Ghana, we have 16 regions, and then we have 32 rural communities within the 16 regions, and then we added schools as targets. So far, so good. We've been able to reach about 8 communities in Ghana, and then we've reached about 6 schools in total. So far, so good with Bitcoin education. We initially got some funding from Geyser at the start of the year that actually propelled us to go into the rural communities to talk about Bitcoin, and we've been able to go into schools as well to talk about Bitcoin. In moving around schools and communities to talk about Bitcoin, this is what we do. We also have a Telegram group. After talking to them, orange peeling them, giving them some education and some wallets, then we rope them into our Telegram group. That is where we do follow-up educations with them. In our quest to move around the country to educate people, having visited all these 8 communities so far, I would say 2 Bitcoin circular economies are springing up as a result of the Bitcoin education that we've been giving out. So if you go to the Volta region in Abozome, we first went there in March. March was when we first went to Abozome. We took Bitcoin education there. I organized a meetup for the community. The community were interested. Now I did a follow-up of education. So it was like 3 weeks back to back in Agbozome and the communities around. Now I saw there was a potential for a Bitcoin circular economy. Orange pilled some shops, Orange pilled a hotel, and then Orange pilled a food joint that people can go and eat. So I realized if we could orange pill these people around Agbozome, then it means we can build a Bitcoin circular economy. I shared that idea with Herman of Bitcoin Ekasi. He provided some funding initially, and then I kept on going to Agbozome and the communities around. God being so good, we have a small Bitcoin education center we are trying to refurbish in Agbozome. So people in the community, having done we have done 2 meetups in Agbozome. We've done on the spot education in various locations in Agozome. We visited 4 schools in Agozome. Then I feel the community is ready for a Bitcoin circular economy. So that economy is coming up gradually. Now, when you go to the western region of Ghana, there's a community called Koklobite. I took Bitcoin education there. It's a tourist destination, and they do surfing around the beach and the rest. We took Bitcoin education there. We orange pilled the people around the beach, orange pilled some potential vendors, tourists come to as well. We got them to understand where they are is an avenue for international visitors, and if they know Bitcoin is going to be at their benefit. So we started orange pilling them. They got interested. The community started asking for more. So I went there as well. 3 weeks back to back education for them, so they could get the whole understanding of Bitcoin well. And it really went so well. I would say so far Bitcoin education in Ghana, with what I have done so far, is impacting 2 circular economies coming up, one in Agbozome and then one in the western region where Koklubite is. That's where Bitcoin Bright is being built currently. And then in educating people, I go into seminars. I go into one thing about Bitcoin carries, and in Ghana, we there is no strict I would say there is no control over what you can do or cannot do with Bitcoin. So you are not scared to go out to talk about Bitcoin. As soon as I hear there's a big event and there's an opportunity for me to go there, I go in, and if the opportunity comes for me to talk about Bitcoin, I go and talk about Bitcoin. So I've been able to place myself in certain prominent shows. So one of the shows was the Youth Entrepreneurship Forum organized by the government for young entrepreneurs. I went to the event. I was able to orange pill business owners, young business owners, to believe in Bitcoin. They all got their wallets, they all set up, and then they're asking for more education. God being so good, I got contacted by Trezor sometime this year to organize a Bitcoin Academy in Ghana. It was a 3 weeks intensive Bitcoin Academy in Ghana, and we got about 30 participants to join in our academy. They came to learn about Bitcoin. We led the effort, and all of these guys were given Treasure Hardware wallets. They were resourced enough to go into the community to build relationship with people. With the impact that all the education is coming up, now I found myself in a community of creative people. I had to orange peel them, and then after orange peeling and educating them, they ask, what is it, what comes next, what is it we can do to form like a culture of activity with Bitcoin for these creative arts guys. So we came out with the G8 Bitcoin Night. It's a socio-cultural event aimed at orange peeling the creative arts industry. So we had a first a session under the name Accra Bitcoin Night, where we bring the creative arts together. We orange pill them, we talk to them, educate them about Bitcoin now. We demonstrate how the Lightning Network works and how they can benefit from the Lightning Network doing what they do best. If there's still time, let me just explain how that G8 Bitcoin Night works. So basically, an artist goes on stage, but before you go on stage, we should give you a Bitcoin education, and then you have your wallet already. So once you go on stage, your wallet is displayed right by you. You perform, the video is taken, so your QR and everything of yours comes with the video. Now we post it after the event. So even after the event, people can still watch it and then reward you. So I would say out of education, so many things are popping up that we are leveraging on to capitalize to actually orange peel more people. And tonight we are going to have the second edition of the G8 Bitcoin Night. We're making a lot of noise about it on Twitter. Yesterday, I spent a lot of time orange peeling the artists that are lined up for the G8 Bitcoin Nights, and they are ready for tonight's show. I'm looking forward to a good show tonight. One of the other things that has popped up, I would say, is as a result of the Bitcoin education I'm doing. I was being asked a lot, why don't we see anything of Bitcoin in the public? How do we physically see Bitcoin in the public? So we have one project we are launching this month. In August, we are launching next month. It's called the Bitcoin Street Store. just like those pop-up stores MTN and the other vendors are using. We are building a pop-up street store. It's called the Bitcoin Street Store, and we're going to take it to all the festivals in Ghana. We are starting with the Chaluete Festival this August. It's a very big festival. It brings together people from all of Ghana in the creative arts industry. So we're going to take a stand with the Bitcoin Street Store, and the Bitcoin Street Store basically is going to carry educational materials, educational stickers, everything about Bitcoin. Once you come to the Bitcoin Street Store, you will be orange pilled there, and it's going to travel around the country as well. So far so good. I would say we've covered almost like half of the country in terms of education, and with this education, so many things are popping up. One is the Bitcoin Street Store, two is the GH Bitcoin Night that's coming up, and the two Bitcoin circular economies that are popping up as a result of the educations that I took to these various locations. I have the northern sector of Ghana for the rest of the year, and who knows how many Bitcoin circular economies are going to pop up from my education into the northern part of Ghana. So basically, this is what Bitcoin carries has been about so far.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'll jump in with a quick question, and I'll try to keep enough time for the others to ask some questions as well. But yeah, so it seems like you are doing a lot, and that you're very spread out, 16 different regions. So have you? Yeah. So what are the greatest challenges that you see going forward for adoption? Because it's easy to say, I go out, I orange pill people, I go out, I educate people, but how? But it's, as you probably have seen, it's hard, right? I mean, it's hard to orange pill my father, for example. I can imagine it must be hard to go out and just orange pill people, right? So what are the challenges that you think exist with actually educating the world, like or maybe one other way of putting it, how how easy
How easy
how
or
close
how
are we
hard?
really how close are we really to like um uh you know or how it's a hard question to ask. It's because you have to formulate quite niche to be able to properly answer it. But I guess you could say, what's the success rate, or I guess um, one could ask, what are the main challenges that you're seeing in terms of people accepting Bitcoin or rejecting Bitcoin?
So in Ghana, I would narrow it to Ghana and then the kind of experience. So when I began orange peeling people, the first challenge I came across was, this is fraud. Bitcoin is a fraud. That sentence. And then the second sentence was, oh, I don't even have a smartphone. How do I get to use Bitcoin? These were my two challenges. Aside, let's say, finance challenge, I wouldn't even call that a challenge because already I am there. So apart from these two, I would say there's not much of a challenge because everybody is feeling the pressure in Ghana now, and people are looking out for a solution, a better way to save your money, or a better way to go about using their own money without government's interference or without having to lose it. So I would say the challenge of a scam for now is not a problem because the first Bitcoin Africa conference that was held in Ghana was widespread. The news went down with people. Now they know Bitcoin is not a scam, and I'm able to explain what the different scams they've been facing is from what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is not a scam because once you're able to break down what Bitcoin is and then you explain what other scams exist, they get to know the difference. And then
Right.
Bitcoin is not talking you into investment, it's not talking you into
Yeah.
bringing your money for X or that, but then it's just teaching you about money, the financial freedom you and I are actually looking for. And then in Ghana, everybody's looking out for a way to save. And most of the people in Ghana are looking out for ways they can get money in or they can get money out without having to lose. So with the problem of scamming, that has been solved. One problem with, I don't use a smartphone. How do I? In the beginning, it was really a challenge for me. when I didn't know about Machankura. Now Machankura came in, I'm like, yeah, I have it. So once I got to know Machankura, and you can go into the hinterlands and you can use Bitcoin, then that challenge is solved. And that is actually one of the confidence, I would say that is one of the things giving Ghanaians the confidence to use Bitcoin. Yeah, Machankura is actually giving Ghanaians a lot of confidence to use Bitcoin because we lost trust in our system. People were thinking the mobile money was the option because they feel they have the money on their phone and they tap it and then they are using it. And if you could actually use Bitcoin the same way, and which is better than your Momo, what confidence is it giving you? So I
Right.
would say these two challenges have been solved, and now I go out confidently without a challenge in my head.
Amazing. All right. How, should we? Do you guys have a very important question, like a good question to ask, and but it has to be super quick because we want to leave Nzonda some time, and I don't want to take too much of your time, guys.
Abubakar?
Yeah, I think we can definitely move to the next because I think he's covered quite a lot.
Indeed.
Thanks again for your work, by the way. Kumi.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Right, Nzonda, thank you so much for joining us. Here we have the author of Bitcoin Kids. Excited to hear about your project.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be on this space right now. I'm Zonda. I used to work with Paxful as a senior marketing associate for Francophone Africa, but I was laid off back sometime in November. But during the time when I was at Paxful, I encountered a lot of people because I was doing lots of meetups and then doing business development for Paxful and pushing the platform as far as wide as possible. So and a lot of people were always asking, how can you explain Bitcoin to me as though I was a kid? And just to give a bit more context, the way people look at technology in French Africa and the way people look at technology in English part of Africa is like really very different. So people in the French side of Africa tend to be very skeptical or not wanting to be daring when it comes to new technology. So the kind of like orange peeling strategy here has to be very, very slow, and then it picks up like gradually. So most people will keep asking me the question, can you explain me the concept of Bitcoin as though I was a kid and stuff like that. So that question kept coming, but it really down to me to start doing the Bitcoin Kids book. It's only when my one day I was working on my computer and then my son came around and he was by some way he saw the Bitcoin logo and he asked me how dad, what's that? And I said it's the Bitcoin logo. And then he said, what's Bitcoin? I said digital money. So that startled him, and then he left. And it down to me that in as much as I want to orange peel adults or tell adults about the benefit and why they should use Bitcoin, there are also a very large group of people that also need Bitcoin, and these people are the people that are the Bitcoin native. So it will be okay for me to build some sort of a product that, as an adult, they can read for their first time, and then it's their first step to get into the Bitcoin space and then understand what Bitcoin is. And also, it can help a kid. So it just takes down that top to bottom and then down to bottom approach, and then helps everybody who has never heard about Bitcoin to be able to read for like 15-30 minutes and then to understand what Bitcoin kits is it's all about. So, but it came with lots of challenges after I left Paxful, because I struggled a lot to come up with the finances to be able to put everything together and then finally launch the book. So since launch, the feedback has been very, very overwhelming. Like all the feedback that come from parents, from kids, and everyone who reads the book, even people who have never heard about Bitcoin. Some of the people just look at the graphics, they look at how the stories are being placed, the small text, and then the lots of visual. It makes them very, very interested, like families, like parents, like kids, and everybody just very interested to pick it up and then read it and then give me some positive feedback. So we have been so far we've had um, different ways that we are trying to like penetrate the African global South with the book, right? So recently we had Bidon from Uganda who went to an orphanage, and then like you can see the picture at the on the Gaza Fund. That's an orphanage in Uganda that he was talking to kids there, and then all of the kids were very, very happy to have the book and something that they can always look back to when people talk to them about Bitcoin. And lately, we also had Kumi in Ghana who used the book to orange peel some kids, and then I saw a video. There's a video on Twitter that the kids are reading the book, and then everybody is very, very happy to learn about Bitcoin through the book and stuff like that. And in Cameroon, we've been organizing meetups and using the book as a tool to orange peel people, because most of the people that we meet have heard about Bitcoin maybe once or twice. They have never tried it, and then lots of the people have never heard about Bitcoin. They are very curious and stuff like that. So the book is a kind of a tool that we use to help to orange peel people around Cameroon. So the next thing that we're trying to do is to get into Nigeria full swing, get into Ghana again. Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo. So all the countries that are on the West African coastline. So that's our next project. So we want to go like to these countries, print books, organize meetups with families, with kids, and then give out these books to them, and then see the impact that it can create. For I know for a fact, and then we've tested that every kid, once they see the book, the first thing they think about is the art of the book, not Bitcoin. So, but when they open the book now, when they start reading, that's how they get to learn. So it makes learning for them fun and entertaining. Yeah. So I might take some questions now.
Very interesting, very interesting. You mentioned something that I think is very important to highlight when it comes to
Yeah.
education in general, which is kind of the local context. So whether that is specifically how people view Bitcoin already, or what the target benefits are that resonate with people the most especially what you mentioned around the perspective on technology when you compare that viz maybe Nigeria or non-French speaking parts of Africa. So specifically with regards to your next target in terms of moving into Nigeria, Ghana, and the other regions, what are the immediate differences that you've seen in terms of how people perceive tech in those regions versus Francophone Africa? And how are you looking to address that, or I guess adapt?
Yeah. So the book, before I created the book, I kind of like took a seat back as like some sort of a product manager to understand like the different context of the two regions, right? Because I'm in Cameroon, and then we have the opportunity to see these two people play at the same time. So I was born French, but I speak English because I schooled in the English part of Cameroon. So I kind of like understand but the real thing is you need for other than let me put it this way. English people would see something and then they are curious about picking it up, and without somebody trying to tell them what it is, and then they discover it for themselves, right? But when it comes to a French person, they always need like some sort of a hand lifting. Like it's not generally everybody, but a handful of them, especially when it comes to new technology. And even more so, Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general in this part of Africa has been plagued with so much scam. So people are going to create like different sorts of MLM platforms, and then they use the name of Bitcoin to say, I'm doing this for Bitcoin, I'm doing this through Bitcoin and stuff like that. So it pushes out a message, a negative connotation on Bitcoin. And then these people who get hurt, or people who heard that other people got hurt, begin to say that Bitcoin is a scam, right? So I needed to like make Bitcoin even more attractive for these people who thought that Bitcoin is a scam. So the challenge here is people from the English side, like Nigeria, Ghana, and stuff, and for a fact, the highest interest I've gotten for the book is from Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, right, and Uganda. So all these countries are speaking English, but I've gotten interest from French speaking countries, but not as much as from the English part. Just to give you like a clear reality of what I'm talking about. So, but I think with a bit more financial support, getting to these countries and then meeting these people and then talking to them will like spark up the interest, because I've made the whole context of education with the book really fun. Yeah.
That's amazing. And one quick question as well, as a follow up to that, is given the fact that you'll be targeting French speaking Africa, what are your plans with regards to translations, for example?
Yep. So right now, the good thing, like I said, I just finished translating the whole book, and I'm working with Gloire from Congo, and Print. I've forgotten his channel, L'Afrique Parle Bitcoin. So when I've done the translations, I just sent it to them like to check some sort of grammatical errors, because you can't always like get all the grammatical stuff right. So immediately they give me feedback sometime by the end of this week. We're just going to like implement the French translation, and there are other languages like Swahili, and then there's Pidgin English done by I think GGR5 from Nigeria. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks again for all your work.
Yeah, thank you too.
Thanks. I had a quick question as well. Yeah, very great work. And yeah, my question is, I think it's awesome to focus on the kids or maybe younger generations, because I think that what you have made clear is like the book is styled in a way that it is relevant and appropriate for kids, but like you can enjoy it as an adult as well. It's like a very low hurdle welcome to Bitcoin. And so my question would be, once the book does its job in creating like a nice entryway to Bitcoin, how are you thinking about like giving these people like the next step, right? Like, I don't know whether you have recommendations of other things to read. Like, if you enjoyed this, you might want to read, check out, the Bitcoin or Me Premier Bitcoin or the Bitcoin Standard, or like, are there next steps that you recommend for people who read the book, or like, Telegram groups or otherwise? Like, what are you like recommending maybe to people who read the book and say, wow, how do I learn more?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So what I've been able to do so far is it's a bit manual. So most people will get back to me after reading the book, maybe through Twitter DM or physically or whatever. I give them some sort of recommendation, next books to read, and then and sort of an investment part, because most people who have come back after reading the book, what they want to do next immediately is not about continue reading, but they want to like say, okay, how do I begin to save money in Bitcoin? Because what they see about Bitcoin, mostly from the people that have read the book, is using Bitcoin as a store of value. So I use Blink as an example. I use Moon Wallet of Satoshi. So I just like do some sort of practical sessions with them, and then help them get on board this using Lightning and all that stuff, and set them up, and they can continue doing this stuff. But I want to do that more automatically. So we're adding some new features on the website, like a full guide where we have like a whole resources. So after you read the Bitcoin Kids book, this is the next step. So like some sort of a whole guide, a directive. So it's something it's going to be out like in 2 3 weeks on the website, where and then it will be on the next update of the book, which is the next print, like 3 weeks from now. We're going to have like a link of the website that puts all the resources that after reading the book as an adult or as a kid, you can just continue from there.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
Nice work. Do we still have Mick? Is he muted?
Of course, I'm muted. All right, sorry. So here we go. The quick question I have, and again, don't want to push us beyond the time too much, but you've showed us the great quality of work, and there is something about books about making Bitcoin relatable through stories that is so powerful. But I'm curious to hear more about the reach, the extent, the numbers, the quantity of people you've been able to reach. How many? So maybe just by telling us how many books you've printed that you've just given out, because I know you sell some books, and it's fantastic, as you should. But how many have you like printed to give away? And how could a grant actually help you extend that?
Yeah. So far today we have printed about 300 books, like giving out about 300 books. Yeah, give or take 300 books, and we we want to use some sort of financial support to be able to, like I said, on our Giza fund, like our next project is to like print more books, about 2,000 books or so, like to make like the impact even more bigger. Because the thing is, especially in the francophone region in Africa, when people hear about Bitcoin, they don't want to like remove their money to spend on Bitcoin, right? But I think the financial support can make us not make them not to spend, but we just give them the book and then they discover how interesting Bitcoin is. So there's really no barrier to entry. It's not about financial. The book is very entertaining. It's according to your understanding and stuff like that. So that's the next level of how the grants can impact what we're doing, because we only can print and as much as we can based on
Yeah.
the current financial situation that we have. So what I do mostly is every month for the last maybe 4 months that the book has been out, I just print like 50 books every month and then give out, and then plus what Bidon did. Bidon printed about 60 books for the kids in Uganda. So that's putting it all together. It's about 300, and then
That's
we've
that's
sold.
that's pretty. That's a pretty impressive MVP, I would say. And I think books are powerful things. They stay, right? Words
Yeah,
linger, but books stay, and uh,
yeah,
yeah, they're
yeah.
powerful. So that's amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just wanted to like add one more thing. So the book, one other objective that we want to use the book for is to make sure that every educator, because where there's any Bitcoin educator, there's either a kid, there's a family, there's a mother, there's a parent who's never heard about Bitcoin. So we can also help to ease the orange peeling work. So we just give them the book and then maybe come back and follow up with them. So, but with younger people, maybe 18 to like maybe 25, 30, you can really just speak about Bitcoin and the whole complexity. For parents and then kids, they might
Right. So
not be
books not
really.
just for the young generation, but also for the older ones. That's awesome.
Yes, yes.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Look, it's been awesome. We're a little bit over, so I want to thank all of you guys for participating. This was our first one. I think it's very happy with how it went. Hope you enjoyed it as well. I learned a lot more than in Twitter Spaces by just seeing faces and looking at photos. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much again. I look forward to to the results of the grant and doing more of these as well with the remaining participants. So if there's any other questions or thoughts, but if not, we can wrap it.
Thank
It was a
you.
great show. Thank you, Gazer
Thank
Fund,
you.
for putting out creators like us out there. Thank you so much. You guys are
Absolutely.
awesome.
Awesome.
Absolutely. You guys are the
Not,
heroes. You guys are
not
the
forget Andrew with Blink, man. The
yes,
support,
Blink.
Yeah,
support,
Blink.
the support is enormous. Without you guys, I don't think we'll be doing this as much as we're doing now. So big thanks to you guys too.
Thank you. Thanks to everybody. Thanks, Geyser. This has been awesome. It fills me with hope every time you get together with people who are building projects on the ground up with bootstrap budgets. And this is the most anti-crypto thing ever, right? Like all work and little funding and like just showing the proof of work. And so I really, really appreciate it and privileged to be in this company. So cheers to you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks,
super
thanks
awesome.
everyone, and thanks for having me as well. Awesome work.
Thanks, Abubakar. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. And guys, yeah, I couldn't have said it better than Andrew, so let's leave it at that. And thank you so much. This video will be available on YouTube, so you guys can, I'll send it over. You guys can use it as an entry. You just put it in there so that other board members will be able to see it when they go through your project and look at your profile. All right, guys, thank you all so much. Take care and have a good weekend.
Wow.
Cheers.